Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Rolynn's Reviews. As you fill up the chat room, folks, if you will, please, please, please hit that little thumb. That is the like button. That tells YouTube that we got some good things going on over here, and we may actually trigger the YouTube algorithm. And guess what? They may um, share it to even more folks. Okay. Um, so, yeah, there you go. And it won't cost you anything, I promise. Thank you so much, all of you who are continuing to help me to grow the channel. Also, if you have various forms of social media, every time you share the stream out and you bring new people into um, the chat room, you're helping to grow the channel as well. Okay. Um, Thank you, all of you. As we wait for people to continue to fill up the chat room, thank you, all of you who were able to stick with me. There was nothing, when I'm able, I come back on. So Spectrum crashed. I don't know what happened. And they were sending me emails. Oh, we'll be back up at 6:30. It never happened. And then hours after that, then I just finally said, okay, I give up. I'm going to bed. So that's what happened. But I told you, I always attempt. But when they send me emails, that's not a good sign, or text messages saying we're working on restoring your service. I kept trying, and it just was not in the cards. But thank you, those of you. I know a lot of you stuck around for a while waiting to see if I was going to come back on, which I was trying to, but Spectrum was having some technical difficulties, and that caused me to have some technical difficulties. Tina, technical difficulty. Yeah, Tina, anytime something happens and I'm able to come back, I jump right back in. But when it's Spectrum, when they send me a text message or an email, it's not good. Okay. Look at the title, folks. And I've been texting back and forth with Florida. So Florida, it was on the New York Post page. They have it in the paper, so that was why I was like, okay, I'm hoping this isn't fake news, because I did check Florida. Thank you for looking out, though, Florida, because we know how fake stories do circulate sometimes. All right, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Lord Jammer, how are you? Darn, just when we thought we had seen the last of this hateful. Yeah, he's back. Florida. Yeah, I told him we did miss Lord Jammer. We're glad you're back. Star, thank you for being here, love. Thank you so much. Mayor, hello. Enjoy your birthday party with your granddaughter. Okay. Maga, how are you doing, Maga, tomorrow? You're not late. And hopefully, I think all service has been restored. Florida says the evil creature is back. So I don't even look at that guy. I stopped looking at late night television. Oh my God, I was in my 20s. So that's been a while. Vicky, how are you? Randy Golden Crown, hope that you are continuing to heal. How are you doing, love? Baldwin Birds. Yeah, he's back. He's back. Hi, Roland. I'm glad to see your internet's back up. Sorry I didn't get back to you last night. I was dealing with my mom's drama. Maga, you had mom's drama. I had spectrum drama, but we both had drama. Okay. I am Randy. I am having a blessed day. I hope that you are as well. I cannot complain, but I did want to jump on and let everyone know my internet service has been restored and I am back. How you doing, Ollie? Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing, dear? Tina Tover, of course, here to help me. Tina and Florida and Maga tomorrow. Oh my goodness. What would I do without them, right? Jeremiah also. How are you doing, love? Shazi, how are you doing? Tube Steak, how are you? Agent Orange, how are you doing? Denise, sending prayers, hugs, and love to you as well. My girls, the provocateur, of course, she's going to be here. Now, if you are familiar with this subject matter, this just came down. How you doing, Aurelius? Hola, ¿cómo está? So yes, this just came down, and Florida, thank you for making sure I had checked it, but I had reputable sources, and sometimes they're wrong too. But thank you, Florida, for always telling me, make sure this is right, because we know how they like to take a story and run with it. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, I always like to go back and play, because some people have forgotten and some people have been so busy and they haven't listened to it. So let me go back and play this short clip. This is what precipitated his suspension. All right, here we go.
Some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
Here's everything you need to know about the off-key monologue that got Jimmy Kimmel's show pulled indefinitely. The controversy began during Monday's show when the late-night comic started off by claiming that MAGA was using Charlie Kirk's assassination to score political points. But Kimmel didn't stop there. He went on to call out President Trump, who is scheduled to deliver a speech at Kirk's memorial service on Monday, for what he deemed to be an insufficient reaction to the murder.
In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone that watches this guy. So, and let's be clear, from reports I've seen, ABC, well, Disney, of course, being the parent company, his ratings weren't, oh my goodness, through the roof. And like when someone wants to get rid of you, but they really don't have a reason. I think they were trying to use this as their out. Okay, Jeremiah, thank you. Yes, Lord Jammer. I don't know anyone that watches this show. So I've had waxing that was funnier than Jimmy. Maga, let's go back to Jimmy Carson. Johnny Carson, okay? I haven't, and then now my favorite, Joan Rivers. Oh, can we talk? So again, and then I was watching Morton Downey. He was smoking all those cigarettes. I was watching him, but I'm whatever. I don't look at any of these people. My girls, unlike the Donkeycrats and Jimmy Kibbles and Bits, we don't need to score political points. We actually have policies. Boom. Yes. All right. His ratings were so bad, and they were talking about firing him a long time ago, but they used President Trump to do it, and it backfired on them with the protesters. Tina, I am pinning your message. You said it before I could get it all out. They used, well, we're firing him because, no, you're not. Stop the lies. His ratings were not all that great. Tina, right? Tina is telling the truth. And give you an example. It's like you're on a job and you're not doing a good job. Now, let me give you an example. I'll use teaching. I am a tenured teacher. It is very, very difficult to get rid of a tenured teacher. I mean, you have to do something just absolutely off the wall, just crazy. And you can be a horrible teacher. And that's one reason a lot of states abandoned, they canceled tenure. You can be a horrible, horrible teacher, but if you have tenure, and just look in Chicago and all these blue cities, with those teachers unions. They run everything. We've said that. It doesn't matter how horrible they are. You can't get rid of them. So they, in their backdoor meetings, wanted to get rid of him. And then they tried to use President Trump. And then it backfired. Because what happened? Protests. People started canceling. And we know this is all about money. So I don't know why. And I'm going to show you the statement that they read, ABC. They're full of it. But yeah, Arsenio Hall. I used to watch Arsenio Hall. How you doing, Sherry Yelverton? Hey, Booze. I have to have Disney Artistic Child. Every classic Disney movie has a caution warning. Now, oh my God, I should say, don't watch it if you're soft. Share. Yeah, people were canceling. Again, Disney's the parent company. They were canceling subscriptions to Hulu, ABC, protesting, boycott. They were losing millions of dollars. Falling stock prices, cancel vacations, cancel subscriptions. So for them to come back and act like, well, after discussing, stop it. You're tired of losing money. We're not that stupid. So anyway, I'll continue playing this. Share this out, folks. This is interesting.
Flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Kimmel then doubled down, sharing that it wasn't the first time since Kirk's murder that Trump redirected a question about the Turning Point USA founder back to the White House ballroom.
And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, he was dead. Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces you wouldn't believe.
Maggots. They laugh. I mean, was that funny?
There's something wrong with them. There really is. I mean,
the backlash to Kimmel's monologue was swift, including from the Federal Communications Commission chair, Brendan Carr. The President Trump appointee blasted Kimmel's remarks and urged affiliates to preempt his program during an interview with conservative podcaster Benny Johnson. Change needs to happen on Kimmel, Carr said. Nexstar Communications, which operates 23 ABC affiliates, announced it would no longer carry the program due to Kimmel's remarks. Hours later, ABC took Carr's words and Nexstar's actions to heart and canceled the show indefinitely. Sinclair Broadcasting took things even further, announcing that the suspension wasn't enough and vowing to yank Jimmy Kimmel Live from its stations until the host apologizes directly to Charlie Kirk's family and donates to his political activist group. The company also demanded that formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Kimmel's removal has sparked fierce debate, with critics accusing ABC and its parent company Disney of bowing to political pressure, as President Donald Trump cheered the suspension. All this as the dominoes continue to fall and true extent of the fallout has yet to be seen.
So we already know about that. How you doing, Barnes? Welcome, love. So I wanted to go back and show that to you. And then I'll show you the crappy report. You know how they get their writers together and they have this road. Did you see? Yes, I did, Jeremiah. That was a laugh track. No real human would even grin at his weak jokes. my girls, I'm saying he's not funny. What are they laughing at? I don't know. So actually, this takes away their talking point they had to complain about. Exactly. Jagalo, how you doing? That's all boycott all the advertisers on Kimmel. Yeah, so what happened, Jagalo? And let me go back and show you. So Disney, ABC, the parent company, they were just saying, oh, yeah, we had this talk and this discussion. No, you're not. You're telling lies. They started losing money. People stood behind Kimmel and they started canceling subscriptions, canceling vacations, and ABC said, whoa, kibble and bits, my girls. So the protesting that happened, the boycotting, and ABC said, okay, we need to change this. So let me take you. I'll take you to Associated Press. I can share that with you. And so many other in the mainstream media are talking about it now. So this was AP, Associated Press. Now this came out about 4:00 today. Right, Tina? I don't see what's funny. How you doing, Agent Orange? Propaganda pimp. Boom. So again, this happened about 4:00, breaking Jimmy Kimmel to be reinstated after suspension following Charlie Kirk comments. ABC says the show is expected to return Tuesday, meaning tomorrow. Tube Steak, how are you? Tube Steak, you know it. And I like I said, I don't know anyone that watches this guy. And let me show you these idiots that were, which I don't get it. Maybe you do. I'll just let this play. I don't know what these people are doing here. So here, this says ABC fans celebrating the news that Kimmel is back. So you see what they're out there doing. Lord have mercy. Oh boy. So they're playing music, so I'm just pausing it. But you can see they're out there dancing now that Kimmel's back. Tina, me either. Jackalow, they're celebrating that Kimmel is back. So they're out there dancing. Okay, so that's what they were doing when they got the news. And here's someone. Kimmel should just leave his show and join the other women on The View. Yes, Barnes. Yes, Jammer. Oh my goodness. Look at this group photo of everyone who cares. So that's going to be all of us here in the chat because I don't look at that crap. Share. I'm not even going to respond to you. I'm just going to laugh. Hilarious. My all the rainbow flag, LGBTQ plus stuff was not meant to spotlight, but to cause hatred and division. But they wonder why nobody wants them around their kids to talk to them. All right. So yeah, so this happened. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get off of here. Yeah, that's him right there doing some things he should not be doing. And here's someone, I didn't want him to return. He uses his platform to dehumanize conservatives. He's no comedian. He's a propagandist of the Democratic Party. Boom. Yeah. And so, again, I don't know of anyone that watches him. Okay. I think everyone here in the chat will agree with this this meme. Okay, Jeremiah. MAGA, think about it. For years, they've been causing hatred and division by telling people that one race is special, one race is not. Now they're doing it with gender and sexuality. Yeah, they just keep moving the goalposts. He was never funny. Funny, strange, maybe, but not funny. Yeah, Barnes, that's what I'm saying. I was like, what? He wishes he was Gutfield. Yeah. So, all right, let me show you what else I had to show. Let me see. So yeah, I was gonna go and so anyway, yeah, I wanted to show you that, and then read you a little bit here. Read you a couple of paragraphs here. All right. If you are enjoying this content, if you will, share the stream out, hit the like button, all of that. All right, and this is what we I just shared with you. So we know he was reinstated. This was in the wake of a criticism of his comments, which I just played. If you're just joining us, I just played that video for you. So they said he was suspended, remember now, indefinitely. But Tina just shared with you, and I just shared with you from what my research, he didn't have the best ratings anyway. And ABC, to me, my opinion, they said this is our out, but they didn't expect this backlash. Sherry Yelverton gives new meaning to white noise. Okay. No, Sherry, that's what I said. Johnny Carson. And I remember that. I used to sit up and watch Johnny and or Arsenio Hall, but I never watched this guy. Never. So anyway, yeah, they used Trump and then it backfired on them. That's what happened. So backlash to Kimmel's comments was swift. Nexstar and Sinclair, two of ABC's largest affiliate owners, said they would be pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live from their stations. Others, including several fellow comedians, came to his defense. There was no immediate comment from Nexstar. And then I'm going to read you what the actual statement that they released as to why they're bringing him back, which is all a lie, but okay. In response to messages from the Associated Press, Andrew Colvett, a spokesperson for Turning Point USA, the organization founded by Kirk and now headed by his widow, posted on X about Kimmel's reinstatement. Disney and ABC caving and allowing Kimmel back on the air is not surprising, but it's their mistake to make. Nexstar and Sinclair do not have to make the same choice. President Donald Trump, one of Kimmel's frequent targets, posted on social media that Kimmel's suspension was great news for America. He also called for other late-night hosts to be fired. He has yet to comment on Kimmel's reinstatement, so we're still waiting for that, okay? Kimmel was asked in an interview with Variety this past summer if he was worried that the administration would come after comedians. He expressed concern that a crackdown could be on the way. Well, you'd have to be naive not to worry a little bit, he said, but that can't change what you're doing. Kimmel's suspension arrived in a time when Trump and his administration have pursued threats, lawsuits, and federal government pressure to try to exert more control over the media industry. Trump has reached settlements with ABC and CBS over their coverage. Trump has also filed defamation lawsuits against the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Republicans in Congress stripped federal funding from NPR and PBS. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention. Since PBS has been stripped of funding, OMG, They are really, they've always asked for donations, but they're really ramped it up. Oh my, because I watch PBS all the time because of their documentaries. Like they've had one on FDR and the Vietnam War and all. And I love documentaries, but they're really ramping up their commercials for, asking people to make donations. Brendan Carr, the head of the Federal Communications Commission, issued a warning prior to Kimmel's suspension that criticized Kimmel's remarks about the Kirk assassination. We can do this the easy way or the hard way, excuse me, Carr said. These companies can find ways to change conduct to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. Carr denied on Monday that he threatened to revoke ABC's local station licenses because of Kimmel's remarks. Jimmy Kimmel is in the situation he's in because of his ratings. Boom. Did we not say that already, folks? Did we not say that? MAGA, oh yeah, I always loved PBS. I didn't realize until I became an adult how left-leaning they were, but I love their documentaries. I don't like their news, but I love their documentaries. Greg, Kimmel's highest rating was when the rock band Ghost performed about 2 years ago, tanking every cent. Oh my God, Greg. Well, and see, I didn't know that. So, yeah, PBS has a private channel that you can pay just like Netflix and watch programs on demand. I only like Masterpiece Theater. Jaggalo, I love Masterpiece Theater. Especially with today, TV shows are dying and streaming is taking over. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Jaggalo, Chevy Chase had a nighttime show. He was so educated and cultured that liberals canceled him because he had been expected to make idiot jokes. Yeah, I love Chevy Chase. Oh my goodness. All right. So, Kimmel's suspension has cast a spotlight on the web of business interests that require approval from the U.S. government. Disney, for instance, needs approval from the Trump administration for ESPN to complete its acquisition of the NFL network, while Nexstar needs the administration's approval to complete its $6.2 billion purchase of broadcast rival Tegna. Okay. Sinclair has petitioned the FCC to relax rules limiting broadcaster ownership of stations. The suspension also happened at a time when the late night landscape is shifting. CBS announced the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show over the summer. Yeah, I mean, it's a dying medium. Everyone's getting their news and things from social media. Kimmel's contract with the Walt Disney Company owned network had been set to expire in May of 2026. His representative did not return a message seeking comment Monday. Okay. Word of the reinstatement came as hundreds of Hollywood and Broadway stars, including, of course, who's leading them up, Robert De Niro, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, Selena Gomez, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Tom Hanks, and Meryl Streep urged Americans fight to defend and preserve our constitutionally protected rights in the wake of Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. More than 430 movie, TV, and stage stars, as well as comedians, directors, and writers, added their names to an open letter Monday from the American Civil Liberties Union that argues it is a dark moment for freedom of speech in our nation. Also, Monday, ABC's The View, gagged me with a spoon, weighed in on the controversy after not raising it for 2 episodes after Kimmel was suspended. Co-host Whoopi Goldberg opened the show saying, "No one silences us," and she and her fellow hosts condemned Disney's action or decision. They're about to be canceled themselves. Boom. So I wanted to show you the actual letter. I wanted to show you the actual letter. And like I said, it's a bunch of malarkey, but where is it? I had it and I was reading. I wanted you to hear all the bull in that letter. as to their reasons for bringing him back. All right. I'll see if I can find it here for you. My grass growing is more entertaining than Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so he'll be back on tomorrow. I was trying to find, when I'm trying to prepare, and obviously when I'm coming home from work, I don't have as much time as I would like. Let's see what Fox News says. I wanted to show you the actual letter, ABC letter, on their reasoning for bringing Kimmel back. And like I said, it's all lies. But it is what it is. We know what we're dealing with here. All right. All right. I do so much reading. Okay. Yeah. When I rush home from work and I'm trying to catch up on everything, it's kind of difficult. But I do the best that I can. No one deserves Jimmy more than liberals. Yeah, I'm going to see. Let me type in and see what we can find here. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks, about this story about ABC, of course, parent company being Disney. I told you what they said their reasoning was, but we know the truth. Let me see. Now that since they released this story about 4:00, we may be able to find their actual statement. I was reading it earlier, and I just need to find it. All right. Let me see. More people should be talking about it now. And it's probably on Fox. Let me see. Let me go to Fox News. All right. And I'm sure everyone will be talking about it tomorrow. Okay. Because I'm sure Fox, oh yeah. This is from Fox 30 minutes ago. So I knew that they would, and they're disgusted too. Let me get this volume going for you. So look at the question that they're asking. Let me get out of full screen so you can see it. This is from Jesse Waters. Will Disney put up with Jimmy Kimmel much longer? Okay. So again, like I know, if you're losing money, how much longer is it, actually going to last? All right. Let's get to the crux of it, folks. Here we go.
Tens of thousands of patriotic Americans mourn the loss of Charlie Kirk. CNN chose to give a megaphone to one of the most divisive lawmakers in the country to smear his legacy. Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett injected race and scolded her colleagues for not opposing a resolution honoring Kirk's legacy, a resolution that passed just last week with 58 Democrats voting against it, 38 voting present.
One of the things I do want to point out that's not been laid out that honestly hurts my heart is when I saw the no votes, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color, because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was, specifically to us.
So much wrong with that statement. Well, speaking of divisive rhetoric, Disney has just announced that Jimmy Kimmel will be returning to his show tomorrow night after he falsely claimed that the suspected killer of Charlie Kirk was MAGA.
And when they are caught in make a mistake or just blatantly lie, they never come back and apologize. Right, Jagalo. And so yeah, they remember what was that incident that happened? They said it was a white man and it happened to be a black man. They are just caught up on race and gender identity, racial identity, this gender identity politics is awful. Right, Dorian? You're right. Here we go.
FCC Chair Brendan Carr speaking at an event earlier before the announcement and denying that there was any government censorship.
Look, again, I think this comes back to where we started, which was a lot of the distortion that's out there. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is in the situation that he's in because of his ratings.
Did we not say that? So they used him and it backfired on them. Those just joining the chat. They tried to use this. Oh, let's get out of this contract. No. And then they started losing money. I love it. That's right, Dorian.
Not because of anything that's happened at the federal government level.
Jesse, Jimmy's back.
Well, he shouldn't have been in that position anyway. You can't act like Maddow when you're being paid to be Johnny Carson. This guy is lying about crimes. He's framing MAGA as assassins. He's supposed to be interviewing celebrities about their movies and telling jokes and dropping televisions out of the second floor window. They're not paying him to do this. He could do this on cable, but this is a late night talk show. You're supposed to be funny and make jokes, and then everybody goes to bed. I understand why he is coming back. He will probably read something that the lawyers wrote for him and act trite for a second. Some of us have been there. And then he will carry on and be the exact same Jimmy Kimmel that we're used to. But how much longer are we going to get Jimmy Kimmel? His deal's up in January. Is Disney going to put up with this guy? He's in second place. He's a headache. He's losing cash. It's a dying format, late night. I just don't see him going on that much longer, and that's fine.
You know what, Tyrus? I mean, this isn't going to change the fact that his ratings were plummeting. We've put those up on the screen before. I'm beginning to wonder, I mean, sinister conspiracy theory here. Like, was this all a ratings ploy to get everyone to watch him again?
No, I think this is great for, what would you rather be canceled for? Sucking at your job or the mean president took your job away? So for them, he's getting to come back. So you got to take the president out of it now, because now he's back. So there should be a huge rating spike. Everyone should be excited. And Jesse, you're wrong. You typically finishes third. Then it's Colbert. And then
I wasn't counting Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm talking networks, right.
Okay.
He's
But
beating them.
to be fair.
He's not even on the network.
I just want to say, to be fair.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. Anchor, if there ever was one. But it's not about me right now. But
Right.
the point is, like, of course he's not going to change because he doesn't have a reason to change. His whole thing was the best thing for him was to stay gone, because he would have been able to say for the rest of his days that the evil Trump MAGA got me. And then all his pundits would come out and say, free speech is being taken away. And now, like, nope, here's your ball back. You got a slap on the wrist, act right. So then the next time he gets canceled, and it probably will be before January, it's going to be about the ratings. And you won't be able to blame the president. I'm glad this happened. You won't be able to blame the FCC. You'll be able to blame Jimmy Kimmel for not being funny.
Dana, returning to Jasmine Crockett for a moment, because we can't let that go unaddressed. She said only 2 Caucasians voted against this resolution. Mm-hmm. No one should have voted against this resolution. And I have here the text of it, condemning the assassin, commending law enforcement, extending condolences. I mean, Mike Johnson mentioned he intentionally kept
evil incarnate. These people are evil. And we've been saying that. Now it's just good versus evil. How you doing, Vipa? I don't think Kimmel's return will last. This is appeasing some of the masses. Vipa, you weren't here. People were canceling Disney trips, Disney vacations. Their stock is dropping. People have canceled their Hulu subscriptions. People have canceled their ABC subscriptions, protesting, boycotting, falling stock. That's why they brought him back, trying to get the money back. But I'm going to take you on TikTok and show you. Lots of people said, nope, those vacations are canceled. and those channels are canceled, and we're not going back. So they're playing this game, and they're going to lose.
Tight so that everyone could agree and come together, but she could not.
Well, I mean, we could go through and count how many people on the left would vote to censure Ilhan Omar. I mean, if we want, we can keep score. We can do that. I would counter her argument with this. And obviously, I am not a black man. But this morning on America's Newsroom, I interviewed two young men. One works as a Talking Points USA. Talking Point.
That was a good interview.
Turning Point USA contributor, and the other is at Campus Reform. Both young black men who said that Turning Point USA gave them an opportunity to do what they wanted to do on campus, but it was Charlie who gave them the inspiration and the confidence to do it.
But he's racist, ma'am. He's so racist. These people need to get it together. I'm saying they have used that word so much. Just cancel the word, okay? I'm done.
So Talking Point, golly, what's wrong with me? I am back from vacation. Turning Point said, okay, here's the venue, here's the organizational skills, here's what you need to know in order to put on an event. But it was Charlie himself who said, I'll show you the way and how to articulate with ideas. And they took it very, very seriously. So I think that those two young black men I interviewed today who are heartbroken, that they would take a lot of issue with what she had to say.
Well,
but he was so racist. He said horrible things about black people. These people need to go away. Greg said, I think they're possessed. Greg, what is this? The Exorcist Part 2? All right. Yeah, they act like it. Tina, yeah, Jasmine Crockett, it's always about race instead of thinking about someone's humanity. That's her problem.
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry, real quick. The reason why you keep saying talking points, because that's all she was doing, was making talking points. And what bothers me about the media, they never say how so or examples of, because that's a pretty strong statement to make about somebody, but they never seem to have an actual factual situation of Charlie saying any of these things. They'll take assert here, a thing here. He'll call it out. He keeps it real. And sometimes keeping it real isn't comfortable.
It was like right before I left when the New York Times took that something that he said and that he was quoting someone else, but the New York Times just clipped it and made it look like he was anti-Semitic. It was crazy. And then they had to correct it. But of course, the correction is this big. The headline was this big.
Gets no attention. Yeah. You know, Harold, the vote to condemn the Minnesota killings of the Democratic local lawmakers was 424-0. Every Republican voted to condemn that. Why could 55% of the Democratic caucus not vote to condemn the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
I don't know. They should have voted that way. I said that in the outset. I'm surprised for you. You lay out a great example of the way I've read you read the resolution. You laid out the example of the Minnesota lawmakers. This was an assassination because the guy was speaking his mind and speaking his political views. There's no place for that in our society. There's no place for that in America. There's no place for that in our political tradition. And I just hope that we never, ever have to have another vote like this in the Congress. But if there is, I hope that people can rise above whatever the differences may be. I didn't agree with Charlie on a lot of things. There were things that he said that I found disagreeable. But what I found most remarkable about him is that he was willing to debate.
Let me get rid of the commercial. Ilhan Omar needs to be sent back to Somalia. Tina, yeah, she needs to be deported ASAP. Jeez. Yes, Jammer, I agree. Send her back. Jaggalo, people outside Turning Point USA holding up signs. Charlie was a not. Those people are sickos. Here we go.
Freely. And his real objective was to try to persuade you that he was right. Just one thing on Jimmy Kimmel. I'm happy that he's back, not because I agree with everything he says or I even watch his show or I even find him funny. What I don't like is when government says that you can't have someone on air because we don't like it. That's what happens in state-run control media. That's what happens in countries that have that, including China, in Russia, in North Korea.
The Biden administration.
What markets decide if people should be on air. The reason the guy at our network, My Pal, is number one is because people watch him. And if the network wants to lose money, they have every right to do that. What I don't and will never agree with, and I'm glad to be joined by Ted Cruz and Rand Paul on this, is for the FCC commissioner and chair, whomever it might work for, saying we can do this the easy way or the hard way. So I'm glad that he's back because it's a win for free speech. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't even find his jokes altogether to be that funny a lot of the time. But that shouldn't be for the government or the president or any regulator to decide.
The government didn't decide it because he's back tomorrow. So quite clearly, the government didn't force this.
But Kaylee, when the president of the United States, who you work for on Air Force One, said that they're 90, you were one, I think, when he said they're 97% against me, and we should look at their licenses. When the president of the United States says that, whether he meant it or not, that was wrong. So for you have your reasons. I'm glad he's back on, not because I think he's funny or because I think he deserves a slot, because I believe that government intrusion and coercion played a role in him being taken off. We can just agree to disagree.
Well, ABC chose to bring back their low-rating nighttime host, so clearly they had the freedom to do that.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
And we know if you're just joining us, we've already stated why. Vipa, Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City and a Trump hater asked that everyone boycott Disney and not buy tickets to various events. I don't feel it's going to prevail. Well, Vipa, they caved because they were losing millions of dollars because the people have been boycotting and protesting, canceling their Disney vacations, canceling their Hulu subscriptions or ABC subscriptions. Yeah. The other one was way better because it expressed my frustrations and how I could run away with the horse. Oh my God. I found what I wanted to show you. Then we're going to go to TikTok and then we are out of here. Okay. I wanted you to see the actual, it was on PBS. Yeah. I wanted you to read it in the words of the late, great Carol O'Connor as Archie Bunker, this crapola. I wanted to read you the full statement. Now, this is what they said. Let me see where it begins. All right. ABC will reinstate Jimmy Kimmel's late night show in the wake of criticism over his comments about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, officials with the network said Monday. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday, said a statement from the network, and we know that's a bunch of malarkey. ABC suspended Kimmel indefinitely after comments he made. Okay, we read that. All right, so that's what they said. Oh my God. I just wanted you to see that crap. The Walt Disney Company issued the following statement today. This was additionally what they released. Vipa said it's Vipa with his ratings. Yes, it's temporary. They're doing this to stop these protesters. They're doing this because they're losing millions of dollars. Their stock is dropping. People are canceling subscriptions and vacations. That's why they're doing it, trying to get their money back. But a lot of people, I'm going to show you some people on TikTok said, nope, I'm still not going back. Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. So again, that's a bunch of crap. We know why they returned it. And again, you're losing money anyway. So what are you doing? Baldwin, no way. I got a Disney Plus. You did? Oh my goodness. They know. Yeah. So let me take you to TikTok. All right. Florida, they called us. Where are we? Nazi to have an excuse to assassinate people. Yeah, Florida, you know that. Of course, you know it. All right, let me show you, get the TikTok ready for you. All right. And I'll show you a couple and then we're going to get out of here. All right. They didn't want to pay out his contract and lose money. Greg, that's what we said. They tried to use Trump as the reason, and then it backfired on them. Right. So they're going to have to fire him themselves instead of trying to put it on Trump. All right. Listen to what this guy says.
Holy crap, you guys. The protesting and the canceling of Disney worked. Disney and ABC are reinstating Jimmy Kimmel, and he's coming back tomorrow night. This is a result of several days of people protesting and speaking out against Disney and ABC, and over 50,000 people canceling their Disney Plus and their Hulu accounts. These people were trying to bend the knee for Donald Trump, even though...
Over 50,000, folks. Oh, add it up. We're talking millions of dollars. Jackalow, so now all of these idiots outside ABC have Kimmel back. Do you think he'll let those weirdos inside his theater stay? I don't know.
They even admitted, the CEOs even admitted that Jimmy Kimmel didn't do anything wrong. But even though they still capitulated to Donald Trump, they realized they were losing billions of dollars. So they decided their money is more important than their fealty to Donald Trump. They said, we spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. In other words, Kimmel had so many people behind him and people were boycotting Disney that they were losing a shit ton of money and they couldn't handle it. But after Trump celebrated this and his head of the FCC, Brendan Carr, said, we're not done yet when cracking down on free speech, the ketchup is going to be flying at the White House walls tomorrow night when Jimmy Kimmel takes to that stage and gets a standing ovation. Holy crap, you guys.
So, and then again, if you look at the comments, this is what, when I was checking this out earlier, people that have canceled already said, I'm not going back. So they did this and they're still not going to be able to bring back people that have canceled already. Yep. Right, Greg. All right. So look at this. I'm not going back. I don't watch late night. Okay. Still not going back to Hulu and Disney. They made their bed, time to lie in it. So yeah. All right. And just all kinds of crazy people. Look at this crazy lady.
Great news, everybody. ABC, Disney, they caved. Jimmy Kimmel Live will start airing again tomorrow night. I'm glad that all of us took the time to remind them that we are their bosses, not DJT, not his admin, not the FCC. We are the ones who can choose to subscribe. We are the ones who can choose to go to Disney World, Disneyland, whatever. And we can also choose not to. Now, they don't mention us by name in the statement they just released. You know, their bosses. They said, last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached a decision to return the show on Tuesday. Anyway, I'm not resubscribing to Hulu and all of that until after I see Jimmy Kimmel's monologue tomorrow night. But I'm really proud of all of us for everything that we did, the boycotts, etc. To quote the woman who should be president right now, we did it, Joe. Great news.
Oh, did you hear? So you know who she voted? She voted for the Curry Queen. Oh, we did it, Joe. I can't with these people. Oh my God, my girl. Jackalow, that lady looks like a cartoon character. Yeah, and then she quotes the Curry Queen, the loser in the presidential election. How you doing, Job for 9? Hello, hello. Oh my God, we did it, Joe. I can't with this lady. I cannot. Oh my God. Job for 9, how are you? So yeah, they're all over the place. I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? And look, you know who this is.
Back talking about Jimmy Kimmel, and Trump loses again because Disney is going to reinstate Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel will have more to say on late night TV. Disney and ABC is going to bring back the comedian to a schedule starting Tuesday night. I know Donald Trump won't be happy, and the stations group as well. But remember that stations group said, hey, you know, he should apologize and he should donate to Turning Point USA. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I know this is a Trump taco without Trump even being involved, at least in the decision. ABC said they thought better of it. They suspended production on the program, they said, because they thought they were trying to cool the temperature in the country, and that they didn't want to further inflame a tense situation at an emotional moment for the country. It's a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. Donald Trump is going to lose his mind because he loses again. Free speech wins. And I wonder if the protests and the threats of boycotts and people saying that they were going to boycott ABC and Disney and get rid of their Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN, you have the power. Trump is a loser once again. He's back.
These people are lunatics. And again, each video I looked at, people are like, I'm still keeping my subscription canceled. So people have been saying that, and I've watched several. Look at this. Several of these videos. I told you I'm always in the comment section. Job for 9. So let me get this straight. He was off for 2 days because he acted like a moron, and he came back. So does not sound like it is freedom of speech issue. Boom. How you doing, Steve? Yeah, we already called out this nonsense. All right. So when here's this idiot again, look at this idiot. All right. So they're celebrating. They're saying this is a win for them. I'm just like, really? So yeah, it's all over, you know. All over. So they're celebrating. And that's all I have for you folks. If you go type it in, you'll see it. Hear your favorite. Oh, I better not play The View. Every time I try to play something from them, it's pulled. And I don't want anyone to throw up their dinner. How you doing, Steve? Muy buen. Muy buen. Gracias. Yes. So let me see. Here's one more.
Well, here's some breaking news. Jimmy Kimmel is back. ABC is reinstating Jimmy Kimmel's show. He apparently will be back on the air Tuesday, which is tomorrow as I'm recording this. You know, MAGA really stepped in it here because all they managed to do in the end was give Jimmy Kimmel a lot more attention. Do you have
Yeah, but how long is it going to last? So you know who this guy voted for too. But it's not going to last. The show was already dying.
any idea how big the ratings are going to be for his show tomorrow?
Yeah, one day.
Everybody is going to watch the Jimmy Kimmel show and want to know what he's going to say following his stupid little suspension. Let us hope that he is as fearless as he always has been. Let us hope that in his agreeing to return, that he is not making any concessions insofar as what he is going to talk about. And I hope that he makes fun of the orange buffoon relentlessly. Well, here's some.
So you see, you know, Jeremiah, yes. And again, you still see people saying, I'm not going back. And I've seen this all day long. Patriot Roy, how you doing, love? Even though, yeah, they're bringing him back, people are like, nope, I canceled it and it's going to remain canceled. So they're trying to, you know, stop the bloodletting and get the money back. But again, I've been reading these comments all day long where people are like, nope, not going back. Right, Caesar? And so, if you go on social media, you'll see all this crap. All right. And so that's what I was watching when I came home. As soon as the news came down, I'm like, I'll start talking about this. And because I know that all of you normally have something interesting to say, hit that like button. One more like, and we will have 50. Woohoo! If you're watching and you're not already subscribed, please do so if you are enjoying the content, and also share the stream out, folks. Okay. My girls, these weak liberals have Jimmy Kibbles and Bits as their spokespersons. Yeah, he's their spokesperson. Facts. All right. And again, yeah, okay, he'll come back on tomorrow. He'll have a big show. And then what will happen? It will go back to sucking like it always did. Bring him back. Right, Greg? I mean, it's again, it's a dying art form. People are not looking at late shows. That's so 20th century. This is the 21st century. Thank you, Jagalo. So that's just where we are, and I wanted to share that with you. So tell me what you think. My review is, it doesn't matter. He's still going to be gone. And I'm happy that this backfired. Those of you just joining us, they used his statements to can him. So they can say, well, he said this, that. They wanted to get rid of him. His ratings were in the toilet. And they used Trump. Well, now he's back. So you can't make this stuff up. Tina said in January, if not before. Tina, that's, if you look at the business model, if you're losing money, you don't continue to lose money. You stop what you're doing. So that's just where we are. And that's what I wanted to share with you. And I may come on tomorrow. Who knows? We'll have to see what's happening. The channel is still growing. Every time you hit that like button, every time you share the stream out, every time you leave a comment, it causes the channel to grow even more. So I want to thank all of you for everything you do. People will watch a late night show if it's good, but he's horrible. Caesar, I've never watched him. I was just before you joined us, I used to watch Johnny Carson. And how many of you are old enough to remember when Joan Rivers, whenever like Carson would take a vacation or whatever, he wasn't there. Joan Rivers was there, and I loved her. Oh my gosh, she was hilarious. Can we talk? Pee Wee Newsom. Okay. Trump was in the helicopter and not inside the Osprey. It was a rough landing with the Osprey. Jeremiah, scary to watch. Wow. Yeah, now she was funny. Yeah, I would sit up and watch Joan Rivers. What's his face? Arsenio Hall. I remember when he started, he was funny. After a couple of years, it's like meh. Vipa Rivers was a who. She was hilarious. Now she was funny. Thank you, Florida. Yeah, Johnny Carson, Joan Rivers. Oh my gosh, she used to be like, making those faces and making those sounds. I loved her. Oh my God, she was a hoot. So we're done, folks. I never did watch Jay Leno, my girls. I didn't watch. Yeah, the last time I really watched it was Joan Rivers, Arsenio Hall a little bit. That was it. Dot Matrix. Okay. Thank you, Baldwin. Yeah, I enjoyed the stream. My review is, who gives a care that he's back? It will be over in no time. Yes, he's probably going to have a lot of viewers tomorrow because they want to see if he's going to take a dig at President Trump. Woohoo! Oh, all right. What do you want? A cookie or brownie? So Dean Martin used to go on the Johnny Carson show, smoking a cigarette and drunk. I remember that too, Caesar. Woo! So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I may come on tomorrow. If not, I'll be on Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. I'll try to upload some more shorts. Okay. So if I'm not live, at least you'll have something to watch. Yeah, all of you, once I end the live stream, if you will, please come back in up under the description box, leave a comment, ask Florida, Baldwin Bird, Caesar, Jeremiah, Jagalo, Maga Tamara. I respond to all comments. It may not be tonight, but I will respond tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Good night, all. I enjoyed all of you. Oh, okay. Jeremiah, I'm going to end the live stream and I'll talk to you in the live stream until it's buenas noches to you, Jagalo. Reporter asked Rivers what she thought about someone gay becoming president. She said, oh yeah, she did. Joan Rivers had no filter. She said that. She said, Greg, she said, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, she said that. Oh my God. She's the one that said Michelle was a man. She sure did. She said, it's okay. And she had no filter. She said what was on her mind. All right. We're gone. Be safe. I love you. I'm coming to talk to you. Don't forget to come back when the live stream has ended. Leave a comment up under the video. Thank you so much, folks. Also, if you see the little button pop up saying hype this video, if you hit that hype button, YouTube will share this video with more people. Thank you so much, folks. All right. I'm coming to talk to you right now in the comment section.